All right, let's talk about code. We're going to crack it wide open. We're going to demystify the whole world of programming by breaking it down into just 9 essential ingredients, the things that power literally everything from a simple app to your favorite, most complex video games. I mean, really think about that for a second. You start with a file of plain text, just words and symbols. And somehow that becomes this living, breathing, interactive world on your screen with characters and physics and goals. It feels like absolute magic, doesn't it? So how in the world do you get from A to B? Well, here's the secret. It's not some crazy, complicated formula. It's actually just a set of 9 core ideas. And what's so cool is that these are the exact same concepts taught in a high school game development class, which is actually where we found the inspiration for this whole explainer. Okay, let's dive right in. The first 5 ingredients actually form a pretty handy acronym, VIDEO. We're going to walk through each one, starting, of course, with V.
First up, variables. You know, the easiest way to think about a variable is just as a labeled box. That's it. You give the box a name, and then you put some information inside it for the computer to remember for later. It's basically the program's short-term memory.
And just look at how simple the code for this is. When you write x equals 3, you're literally just telling the computer, hey, make a box, call it x, and stick the number 3 inside. Same thing for my y equals Fred. And just like that, you've given the computer something to remember. So how does this actually work in a game? Well, every single time you see a score ticking up, or a health bar going down, or your character's name displayed on the screen, yep, that's a variable doing its job. Just a little box holding on to that one piece of information. Next up in our video acronym is I, for input and output. This is all about how your program talks to the world. Input is information coming in, and output is information going out. Think of it as the program's eyes, ears, and mouth. So, for example, when you press the spacebar on your keyboard to make your character jump, that's input. And when you see the character actually jump on your screen, that's the output. It's that simple. Okay, let's get to D for decisions. This is where your code starts to get, well, smart. It's the ability to ask a question and then do something based on the answer. It's all about if this happens, then do that. And the code for it is super direct. A line like if x equals 3 is just the computer asking itself, hey, remember that box we called x? Does it have the number 3 inside it right now? If the answer is yes, it runs whatever code you put inside those curly braces. In a game, decisions are firing off all the time. If your health variable hits 0, then the game shows the game over screen. If you have the right key in your inventory, then the door will open. It's the core logic that makes the world actually react to what you do. The E in video stands for events. Think of these as the specific triggers that your code is constantly listening for. The program is just waiting, waiting for something to happen, like the user clicking the mouse or hovering over a button, so it knows when to act. And finally, we have O for objects. Okay, imagine your game character. They've got health, a name, a score, an inventory. That's a whole bunch of different variables. An object just lets you bundle all that related information together into one single neat package. Just look at this example. Instead of our variable x holding just one thing, like a number, this x is a whole description. It has a property for age and a property for name. We've basically created a little bundle of data that describes a character named Fred. And there you have it. Those are the first 5 foundational concepts. You've got variables to store stuff, input, output to communicate, decisions to think, events to react, and objects to keep everything organized. That's video. But hold on, that's only half the story. With those first 5 tools, you've got a really solid foundation. Now let's build on top of that with the final 4 ingredients. And for these, we have another acronym, FLAC. So, F is for functions. A function is basically like a recipe for a task you do all the time. Instead of writing out all the steps every single time you want your character to jump, you just write the jump recipe once, give it a name, and then you can just call that name whenever you need it. It's a huge time saver. Next is L for loops. Now, computers are absolutely amazing at doing the exact same thing over and over and over again without ever getting bored. A loop is how you tell the computer to do that, to repeat a set of instructions, whether it's 10 times or 1,000,000 times. This is why loops are totally essential for games. You want to animate a walk cycle? That's just a loop showing different pictures really, really fast. You need to spawn 100 bad guys? You don't write 100 lines of code. No way. You write one line of code inside a loop that runs 100 times. It's just incredibly efficient. A stands for arrays. Now, if an object is a collection of different things that describe one entity, an array is way simpler. It's just a numbered list of similar things. That's it. A simple list where each spot has a number, starting from 0. This slide makes that difference crystal clear. You'd use an array, a numbered list, to keep track of all the bullets currently flying across the screen. But you'd use an object, a named list, to describe one specific player with their own unique health, score, and name. One is for a group of things, the other is for the details of a single thing. And that brings us to our final ingredient, C, for classes. A class is the master blueprint. If an object is a specific house, the class is the architect's plan that you can use to build 100 houses just like it. It defines all the variables and all the functions that every single object made from it will have. It's really the ultimate organizational tool. So let's put it all together. Variables, input/output, decisions, events, objects, then functions, loops, arrays, and classes, video, FLAC. That's it. That is your fundamental toolkit for pretty much all of programming. And this, to me, is the most incredible part. With just these 9 simple ingredients, combined in all sorts of different ways, you really do have the power to create almost any piece of software you can imagine. You can start with a simple game template, like the ones from that high school course this was all based on, and then, using these exact same 9 ingredients, you can build your way up to unbelievably complex projects, even things like AI and machine learning apps that run right in your browser. So, there you have it. The code has been decoded, the magic has been revealed, and it's just a simple, elegant system. Really, the only question left is, now that you know all the ingredients, what are you going to create?